Good morning, Alex. How are you, sir?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. And welcome everyone to our Red Zone Report, episode 9, the playoff episode, ready to shock the world episode, as I call it. Here we go. We are just off of the homecoming game against Concordia and heading into Laval Rouge et Or this weekend, 3 p.m. In Quebec City. So let's just do a quick review of the homecoming weekend. First of all, I'll start by saying homecoming festivities were fantastic.
Mm.
On our side of things, the football alumni side of things, super well organized by Vince and yourself and the whole crew with Friends of McGill Football. Thank you very much. Saw some people there I haven't seen in years. Michel Levy, Monsieur Bock, who organizes golf packages down in Florida. Um, a lot of guys came up to me and mentioned about watching you on this our little podcast here, if you will,
Yeah.
from the States, and they say they love the insight they get from you every week. So yeah. Also, there is another podcaster in our alumni here. He's got a soccer podcast, Danny Wong, Footy Prime. It's quite popular apparently, but hey, Danny, shout out maybe podcast to podcast here. Here we go. Okay,
maybe
so
maybe
let's
to add maybe to add on that homecoming
yeah.
weekend. It started with the Hall of Fame lunch. So it was really nice to assist there and to be able to watch a guy like Laurent Duvernay-Tardif, who had of course an absolute amazing career, and he's doing still doing a lot of great things. And Dr. Don Taylor, that I didn't know, who I saw for the first time, who was also a new inductee. So that was really a great. Started with a great lunch, allowed me to meet Laurent for the first time. Also had the chance to have a great talk with our new chancellor Pierre Boivin, who had a lot of good things to say. And of course, he's a sports guy, and he's there to help the university overall. But I felt that he had good things to say, and I think that hopefully in the next months we're gonna have like progress like we've been having for a year and a half now within the university, more support and everything. So it has been a good discussion. So yeah, it was a great and I had the time to jump quickly at the brunch before the game. It's always fun to see a lot of now faces that I can recognize more after a year and a half, and always a pleasure to be with you guys.
Yeah, it was terrific actually. The Bailey brunch which you're referring to, and we had John Cleghorn come in and speak afterwards. The co-chair with Alain for the new Grow the Nest campaign. So that was terrific. We're hoping to get him on one of these sort of podcasts when you've gone into recruiting mode in the off season, maybe, and speak with him about the Grow the Nest campaign. But the whole vibe was fantastic. It was a perfect day for football, you know. Let's get into the game a little bit because I don't want to dwell on that. But I mean, the game was tied with a couple minutes left, and we were right there. Even when Kanye scored, we had a chance to come back and tie it. Couldn't get it done. But just general impressions on the game. We'll talk a little bit about it, then move on. But general impressions from the game, coach.
I'll say that it was a very competitive game. Like both teams played actually well, like as there's no turnovers in that game. There's no any big plays on special teams. So special teams were a pretty tight fight, and I think that offensively they had, of course, a great day with a lot of yards, especially after we had a couple of DBs again falling for injuries at the end of the first quarter. And we had a tough time defensively after that to figure out a way to stop them. And shout out to Antoine Ouimet as a rookie quarterback who had, of course, a great day. On our side, I think it was kind of a game that represents well this season, where we were moving the ball pretty well. We were able to score up to 24 points, and then probably a bit of misexecution earlier in the game, like on deep passes, a drop pass, or a lack of accuracy on certain passes, and of course, like every defense have been doing recently. There's a lot of resources in the box to try to stop our duo of runners with Eloa and Jerry. So we were able to capitalize on some throws, but probably not enough to be able to generate at least one more score who probably would have made a difference. Also, I have like a missed field goal. I think this is the first official missed field goal of Mario Delifrane following a good season where we had a couple of blocks earlier in the season, but Mario never missed, and he hit the post
Doink
during that game.
right,
Yeah, yeah, and
right on the post.
that's a small difference. Also, so we had two opportunities, one at the end of the half and another one during the game where we had opportunities to force Concordia to give 2 points on a safety, but they were able to come out from that backed up field position. So just if you had those couple of things, it's 7 points right there. And even with all that, we with 50 seconds left, we were able to march down the field and generate a chance to try to tie it at the end. So
Yeah.
yes, it was a very competitive game.
Yeah. And it was a great day right up until the last couple of minutes. But hey, that's football, right? But we end up getting into the playoffs
Yeah,
this
yeah,
weekend.
yeah,
Rouge et
absolutely, and
Or,
yeah, and we have to be positive about that because
for
at
sure.
at the moment where we speak, there's already what 11 teams that are eliminated. There's 16 teams left in the country. We're one of them, and every one of those 16 teams have the same goal, which is playing another 4 games, right? So it's for
Yeah,
us, we treat that as a week one out of four. Now after that, like finishing 2-6, 3-5, 4-4 doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you're going to play either Laval or Montreal
that's
right
right.
away. We're right away in
Absolutely.
semifinal. So that's how we see it. So we're starting with the national champs, and that's perfectly fine.
There you go. There you go. You got to beat the best to be the best, right?
There,
So,
exactly.
exactly. So, um, let's talk about this weekend's game. Before we get into the game itself, we've talked about this all season. You've never used it as an excuse, but injuries are, and for both teams, this is why I wanted to bring it up. I don't know if Desjardins is back in there or it's going to be Ouellette. I'm not sure, but injuries have played a factor this year for the Redbirds. Period. Full stop. End of story on the O line, on the D, everywhere. So nothing we can do about it. Do we have any certainty on their side? Have we heard is anybody starting per se or
No, we don't really know what's going on over there, and I would not be surprised to see Arnaud Desjardins back in the lineup this weekend. So I think that I know that they have a couple of defensive backs that are out for season or will not come back. But other than that, they look like pretty healthy to me. On our side now, of course, as you mentioned, it was a it's a challenge. I won't lie. It's probably now that we're in the playoff, I can say it's probably the worst season for me as a coach, injury wise. Can we really control that? No. Can we really change that? No. We have to deal with it, and it is what it is. So it gave a lot of chance to a lot of players to show what they can do. At the moment, right now, it's probably more defensive backs and receivers that are the two most impact position. But we have depth at those positions, and we're going to give a chance to other players to shine and to make plays.
step up? Yeah, perfect. Okay, so the playoffs are, it's one-offs. It's like you said before, everyone starts the playoffs 0-0, and here we go. Win one at a time, any given Sunday type style, or a Saturday in our case. So we've played Laval twice this year. We play every team twice, but we've played Laval twice. What did we learn about them in the past? I mean, whether it's Desjardins or Ouellet, he put up 26 points last week, or not him, but you know what I mean? So
Yep.
what have we learned about the Rouge et Or that we didn't know before, that we kind of know now, and your general impressions of them?
I don't know if we learned something we didn't know earlier, but I can say that this is, in my opinion, probably the defense in the league. And our league is usually the top league in Canada, so we can maybe say that it's probably the best defense in Canada right now. It started with their those two big interior. Well, I can say those three big interior D lines that are in rotation, that are really big human beings that are tough to move. So those are really good players. Where we can talk about those linebackers, elite players that have been there for a couple of years, defensive backs, even with a couple of injuries. They still have a lot of athletic guys, and with Jordan Nassau was probably the best corner in the country in the country right now. So that defense is loaded, so no doubt about that. And offensively, it's an efficient offense. It's not an offense that's going to take a lot of risk if they don't have to. If they don't have to, so they like to run the ball. They like to distribute the ball quickly, and making sure the quarterback is not taking too many hits. So even with Ouellet, it was kind of the same game plan with some small difference here and there, but it was kind of the same mindset and structure for them. And of course, on special teams, there's a lot of depth on that team. So that means that on special teams, you are facing guys that could be starters in other programs. So those guys are, of course, very good. So yeah, it's a tough challenge, but we've been able to play. I think we had like a very bad first half in the first game over there. Second half was way better. The game here at McGill was competitive up to the last 6 7 minutes, something like that,
Yeah,
where we were down
yeah.
22-21. And once again, in my opinion, we missed too many opportunities offensively there to be able to put more points on the board. So yeah, I think the guys are feeling pretty good. They know they can compete with those guys. And anyway, as I mentioned, if you want to be the best, you're gonna have to beat the best. So let's start with them.
Well said, Coach. All right, just before we go, I just want to touch on recruiting. Recently, you announced a couple of commits from John Abbott College, hashtag Islanders alumni here. So, your approach last off season, I think we signed 20 plus recruits,
No,
adding
50,
to
yeah, 50 recruits.
50 in total, excuse me. Yeah,
Yeah,
my
yeah.
apologies. Yeah, and I think it was a bit of a numbers game for us last off season. Don't really want to talk about the off season yet for another few weeks, but let's just talk about the recruiting, the signatures we did this week, and what your approach is going to be moving forward.
Yeah, so for sure, if we compare the 2025 class, what it was, and the 2026 class, what it's going to be, the needs are different, right? So we had to literally flip the roster this year because we were not a lot of players on the team in 2024 as we spoke. So we were losing a certain amount of guys, so we needed like I would say like probably like a bigger amount than what the usual U Sports team is going to recruit. Now this year it's going to be probably down to 25, 28, 22. I
A
don't know
normal amount, if
yet.
you will.
A
Yeah,
normal amount because if you think that it's U Sports is usually like a 5 year cycle. There's right now a rule that the maximum on a team is 105. For Quebec next year is going down to 100. So you
okay.
should have like 20-ish guys coming in every year to be able to replace the seniors that are leaving and sometimes guys that are just deciding to stop playing. So it's going to
Yeah,
go down to usual numbers for us. Now the impact of that is the way we recruit is different in the sense that the criteria are probably higher. So we're looking for more elite football players at all positions. Try to because we still have to get better everywhere. So yeah, and those two John Abbott's guys like Eli Macklin, defensive back, has been a starter for them for a while. He's a great student with a great R score in CJEB right now. And we're going to be losing guys like Janai Copeland, guy Ryan McNally, the Thomas Raphael. So that those are three older guys that for sure are leaving following the season. And offensively, we're really happy with James Rattle because if you look up his stats, James I think finished second in the Division Two this year. He was already, in my opinion, the best receiver of John Abbott last year. So he's a elite receiver that was very high on our recruiting board this year. So we're really happy. Now, if you for the timeline, to answer your question, as you maybe observe, there's less announcement this year compared to last year at the same moment. It's not really like a McGill thing. I see it more as a league thing right now, where it's just probably that class is a bit more patient than the one that last year, which is totally fine. Like I like to tell the recruits that we always adapt to their pace. So we've been doing a good job right now. We're in the mix with a lot of top talent guys right now at every position, fighting with the most of the time fighting with Montreal and Laval and the recruiting for the Quebec players. So we should know more in the next days and weeks.
Fantastic. Great stuff, Coach. Thank you very much. Once again, good luck this weekend. For Friends of McGill Football, I'm Andy Brookman. That's Coach Alex Surprenant. Go get him this weekend, Coach. Go
Thank
Redbirds.
you. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Alex. Bye-bye.